Exercise. Exercise helps reduce anger and stress. My sponsor made me walk every day when I first got sober. He said, we're going to walk. You're doing something physical because you need to get oxygen to your body, Chris. You start moving, doing something healthy.
Doesn't exercise also release endorphins?
Mm-hmm. Yep, in a healthy way. Yeah.
So would that affect?
Nope, in a healthy way, because you know what? It's only going to release normal amounts that you would. It's not like artificially produced, right? You have to produce it yourself. So it's not going to artificially produce it like 100% more. Just enough to like sometimes take the edge off and help reduce stress. Okay, help you sleep better. Relaxation, whatever works for you. Meditation, you know, there's all different kinds of positive affirmations. You can listen to biofeedback, whatever you can do that actually helps you actually relax. You know, my sponsor was a master gardener. That was his hobby. So he said, Chris, being in the garden just like makes me, I just feel one with nature and I'm relaxed and whatever. And I said, that pisses me off. I don't want to frickin' weed. I don't want to like come over here and plant, dude. I get dirty and all that. Like, it stressed me out. I hated it. They come in my greenhouse, Chris. And I go, it's hot in here. I don't want to be in here, you know. He goes, well, this is not your bag then. You got to find some other way of relieving your stress. I'm a runner. I like running. Okay, that does it for me, okay? Learning how to talk about your feelings. One of the biggest ways to stress yourself out, we went over natural, unnatural feelings. We're going to go over that, like learning how to not push your feelings down and identify and express them. Holding on to things builds stress. So learning how to share them assertively in a healthy way. Avoiding, and you know, I had to go to AA a lot to learn how to do that at the beginning because I was either pissed or depressed, right? And I hear people at AA like talk about like, well, I was really disappointed with that. I go, oh, that's disappointment, okay? Or I was angry about, oh, that's what healthy anger is. Or I was sad about this, oh, that's sadness, right? I didn't know healthy feeling from a hole in the wall when I first got sober. So being around healthy people in recovery and hearing them talk about their feelings, I go, oh, that's what that is. So getting around healthy people can help that. Okay, avoiding major life changes. Geographical cures are when you just move, right? And say, if I move there, then everything will be better. Well, the problem is you take your head with you. No matter where you go, there you are, right? So in AA, they call that geographical cures. If I just leave, get away from here, then I'll be better. Some people do it with relationships. Love addicts do this all the time. Love addicts go from one relationship right to the next. Okay, it's a geographical cure. Well, like, you must not be the woman for me. It's all your fault. Obviously, if I found a better woman, boom, let me go over here. It's a geographical cure. Okay? So, they all say, like in AA, if you're not in a relationship your first year in recovery, avoid it if you can. Don't start one because you don't even know yourself yet. You know, that one question they always ask, like my sponsor asked me, I said, I was sober 2 years and I said, can I start dating now, Bill? When should I, like, and he said, well, that all depends. And I said, what? And I said, on what? He said, would you want to marry you? Oh, hell no. Not knowing what I bring to a relationship. Okay, because you don't even have a job. That's right. And then he said about that, he said, listen, he said, can you be honest with that person? Can you actually go up to that person and say, listen, I really don't want a relationship with you. I just think you're hot. I have needs or desires, not even really needs. You don't have to have sex. Right. Priests don't, you know. So he said, I have a lot of desires. I'd like to have them fulfilled. Is it okay for you just to be an object that I can use right now? I said, well, I can't say that to somebody. He goes, that's your intention. Don't be all charming. Hey, you want to date? You don't want to date. You just want to screw. And I said, no healthy person is going to say, yeah, use me. He said, you don't know.
Really?
They might. He said, you might. And he said, but then you have to ask yourself this question, Chris, can it really just be physical? Because the lie you tell yourself sometimes, you know, because sex addiction goes along with a lot of other addictions, right?
Yeah, we know.
Okay. So the real question is, can you really just hook up and just have it just be physical? Because one of the things I found is you always leave a little piece of you with them, and you take some of them with you. That's the lie that we tell ourselves, that it's just physical. Okay? The body, mind, and spirit are too connected. It does something to us on some level, okay? Even if we don't know what it is. All right? Keep educating yourself like we're doing. 12-step programs of recovery, some kind of support group with people that know your loss. Okay? Remember we talked about before, you ever tried to explain to somebody that's not in recovery how hard it is not to use some days? And they look at you like what? Well, you're retarded. My sister used to say, just stop.
Yeah.
Just quit. You know you're going to go back in front of the judge if you get high. And I go, oh, but all I want to do is use. And she goes, that is retarded. I said, stop calling me retarded. I've had a relationship with alcohol and drugs for 15 years.
That was my mom. She says, why can't you just stop?
Yeah,
Just stop.
yeah,
Why can't you just have stronger willpower?
yeah. You know what I always tell those people? My sponsor said to this, he said, when people say that to you, Chris, say this to them. Quit breathing for the next 10 minutes. Stop breathing for the next 10 minutes. And just be okay with it. Don't struggle. Don't panic. He goes, that's what it feels like when you really want to use. It's that panicky, right? You can feel that uncomfortable. You just, oh. And all you want to do is use. He says, tell them, don't breathe for 10 minutes. No, make it 15. Right? I've told my sister said that many times. She goes, well, just stop. Like, stop thinking about it, stop whatever. And I said, don't breathe for the next 15 minutes. She goes, what? I said, yeah, right now, go. Don't panic, don't whatever. And she goes, but I said, stop, don't even argue with me. Just don't breathe. And she was like, oh. Yeah. So that's how it feels. Okay. Daily inventory and journaling. We're going to have an inventory next week when we go over the relapse process, about just a one-page little check thing that you can go. Where am I having relapse stuff going on? Okay. I can't write Gone with the Wind every night. You know, I used to be in treatment centers where they go, we want you to journal every night. I was in one at Hazleton in Minnesota. You know, there's a big one there. It's really famous, okay? And when I was there in I think it was 1979 or something, or 80 or something like that, they wanted you to write at least 3 pages every night. Journal. Answer all the, they were I think there had to have been about 10 or 15 questions every night they wanted you to journal on. Oh my God. I said, I'm not gonna, and they said, keep it up for 2 years when you get out of here. I was like, oh yeah, that's gonna happen. My sponsor gave me this checklist. Here are things you can do. And recognize where I was at, right? Come up with a plan the next day. No stinking thinking. Start paying attention to how your addiction talks to you, and then name it. Okay. I saw Eric Tuesday night. Last Tuesday. So I was taking a little break from my mother-in-law. I was out running, and he drove by me in his truck, and I looked at him, and he looked squirrely, right? I said, Eric, hey. He yelled at me. He goes, hey, what are you doing running the road? Get out of the road. And I looked over at him, and I went, Eric, what's up? And he looked. I said, you don't look right. He said, call me. Real nasty, right? And I was like, I looked at him, and I said, no, I don't call you. You call me. I don't chase people, Eric. You call me. He says, call me. Pardon my French, and I went, oh, there's some stinking thinking going on right there. I don't know if he was really drinking yet at that point. He might have been, because he got arrested Tuesday night. Okay, that was Tuesday night, so it had to have been a little bit later after that he got arrested. Okay, but that stinking thinking I saw in him for at least a week before and I kept saying, I'm worried. So I'd never say never in this program, right? Never say never. So this is just another awareness. You're not doing anything wrong if you feel this. People will tell you you're doing something wrong if you're feeling this. This is physical recovery. It's brain trauma that you're healing from for 2 years. I was like flabbergasted the first time I saw this. I've been in treatment 8 times and nobody told me about brain trauma. I also thought I was doing something wrong because I was getting squirrely and wanted to use again, right? Okay, so your pleasure centers where your fight or flight, like I feel like I'm gonna die or not, part of your brain is, and that's why I can feel like not breathing when it gets triggered. Okay. Make sense? Cool. That's it.